Hello and welcome to our presentation. We are Alice, Nosatan, and Hildegard. Today we'll be sharing with you our physical and digital interventions for a safer and more accessible spaces in these two cities in the Goethe district. The concept consists of digital and physical interventions motivated by the objectives of improving health tourism, preserving and enhancing physical urban heritage, and promoting an online community. The digital intervention consists in expanding the existing app and having the possibility of applying it to as many cities as possible. As for the physical interventions, it would be a question of improving the accessibility and the comfort of existing public spaces, the idea being that this concept then extend to several cities and not be limited.
The digital intervention that we design allows several groups of people to have tourist information and fun routes adapted to their capacities and interests: students, families, children, and retired people. We observed several problems in the cities of Bad Tabarz and Friedrichroda, but also potentials in terms of their tourist attractiveness. The first problem is the difficulty of accessing certain public spaces by bicycle or even by walking. The second problem, strongly related to this one, is the discomfort in these public spaces. We have therefore chosen a public space in each of the two cities, Spindlerplatz in Bad Tabarz and Pushkin Park in Friedrichroda, which are representative of these problems, but which are also potentially attractive and central spaces in the tourist development of the city. At Spindlerplatz in Bad Tabarz, a lot of people gather because it's a central space, but it's very uncomfortable and even dangerous due to the road that crosses it. At Pushing Park in Friedrichroda, the space is almost perfect. There is a great view from above over the landscape, sitting areas, a fountain, and a natural environment. The problem is that you have to climb several stairs to access it, which does not leave the possibility for everyone to take advantage of this space.
The objectives are therefore to promote health tourism with courses, training on the application, to highlight their urban heritage with self-guided tours, to make the city more attractive through games and challenges, and so forth. Also, we want to develop public spaces and therefore intervene physically to allow better accessibility and better safety for pedestrians regarding cars.
Based on our objectives, in addition to our specific locations, we also have identified other areas in both cities on which we are focusing digital and physical interventions. We are going to apply physical interventions such as accessible spaces and comfortable public spaces. We selected other public spaces, both green, such as parks, green yards, and urban spaces, as candidates for creating healthier and more comfortable, hospitable spaces. Our three digital interventions, such as healthy tourism, urban heritage, and online community. In urban heritage, digital interventions can be applied to existing urban heritage sites marked with blue dots. There are houses, monuments of urban culture and heritage, statues, and other interesting historical details of neighborhoods in both cities that carry cultural and historical value. Using digital programs, we promote both recreational tourism and online community programs, thereby embracing our three specific programs. We chose a main public space in the city of Bad Tabarz, which is Spindlerplatz, the way it exists now on the crossroads, and where the residents, guests approach, spend time, hang out, and other activities. We are promoting our physical program to make this area friendly for people. It includes the changes in the road planning and making existing public space wide and open. Our main principle is the pedestrian area for the place. So as you can see, we promote the changes of material of the asphalt to cobblestones, which indicates welcoming people and warning cars about the entrance to the pedestrian zone.
The application therefore influences the interaction with the public space and will activate certain areas, buildings to which tourists would probably not have paid attention to without the application. The pedestrian area also allows freedom of movement and therefore a greater feeling of comfort than when the road crossed the square.
Here you can see a photo montage of the arrival at the pedestrian area, which is now quieter and far from the nuisance of cars.
The app intervention will therefore make it possible to be guided in this place, which will be central in the city.
Here is a more central photo montage of the pedestrian area. You can see a truck on the right, which can continue to serve shops, but which does not have priority. The physical intervention gives the pedestrian freedom and priority in the square.
Games as well as information will allow tourists to learn more about the city and its heritage.
In the case of the city of Friedrichroda, we see our physical interventions by our program to make the Pushkin Park more accessible for target groups like retired people, people on wheelchairs, by addressing the issue of elevation in the landscape, which is hard accessible for these target groups. So which makes these parks accessible and convenient and comfortable for all without leaving anyone outside of the vision.
Again, the application influences the interaction in the sense that it will bring people together in several central spaces. Among them, Pushkin Park, the access to which is modified, will enable this area which is not easily perceptible.
Here is a photomontage of the existing pedestrian access via the stairs, as well as the physical intervention, which consists of a more flexible access. Bicycles and people in wheelchairs can now access the square.
Games can attract the tourists to the square or present challenges like finding monuments and connecting to the online community.
The physical intervention of the new access to this space will therefore make it possible to attract more people, cyclists, the elderly, people in wheelchairs, perhaps even children.
The app offers to follow routes and therefore brings people together in public spaces. In conclusion, thanks to digital and physical interventions, we want to attract people to the cities of Bad Tabarz and Friedrichroda. They are complementary. One guides and encourages digitally, and the other physically challenges the space.